I used AI today more than I used my texting apps.
Sure.
I use AI for sometimes even responding to people. But if I don't know, and
but you run a risk.
Blind,
you do not know, first of all, what kinds of risks you are running.
Indeed.
Like, for example, the EU AI Act categorizes. People need to learn or be made to understand what artificial intelligence actually is. They don't understand the dangers that they are facing. Every generation inherits a defining challenge. Ours is not energy. It's not industry. It's not information. It is intelligence. And the future will belong to those who learn not only how to build it, but how to govern it. As we begin this journey, we invite you to join our global conversation on one of the defining questions of our time. How do we govern artificial intelligence?
Welcome to the Age of Algorithms podcast. And today with you, we have my co-host, Patrick Lubwama. I am Brian Muhumuza. And together we will be taking you through the questions of AI governance. Just for a little bit of background, I'm the CEO and founder of Mazu AI. It's a hybrid marketing agency. And I will let Patrick introduce himself.
My name is Patrick Lubwama. I'm the CEO of OCA and I'm the host.
I'm glad to be your co-host today, this evening, and hopefully for the next episodes to come. So, Patrick, it's been a long time coming. You getting onto this platform, writing this amazing book, as people can all see. And without being too verbose, I just want to talk about the different jurisdictions, the different institutions you've been to, and just let the people understand that you have been almost everywhere, every corner of the planet, from Europe to USA, to also some institutions in Africa. How has that, for someone who has Googled you and knows that you have 15 years of practice, legal practice, how has that shaped your understanding of artificial intelligence?
Thank you, Brian. In these different jurisdictions, I have learned that artificial intelligence is not about technology. It's actually about governance. How do you govern artificial intelligence? And in the many jurisdictions and I have been and what I have studied in the subject of artificial intelligence, where you go, there are different questions that are asked in those different jurisdictions. I can give you an example. In the US, the key question on artificial intelligence is, how can we innovate and scale our innovation? That's the most defining question in the US. In Europe, there is a different question which dives deep into human rights.
Public safety.
They care more about the safety and public interest issues. And that's what led them into developing one of the most comprehensive pieces of AI legislation, the EU AI Act, which was commenced in 2024.
2024.
Yeah, and in other jurisdictions like China, their question is sovereignty. How do they scale to develop their nation in terms of AI infrastructure together as a nation? And in Africa, it's about inclusiveness. And it's about how do we include our cultures, our economic issues into this phenomenon. Where do we fall?
Because we're so diverse, different tribes, different cultures.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and we are also still on the journey of developing our own infrastructure when it comes to artificial intelligence. So that question is also asked, So, yeah, I mean, going around the world, there's a lot. There's no one common question. So, and I guess what I have learned is that the AI governance is about the society where you find yourself, and then you come up with these different questions.
And that puts you in a unique position because you get to have a comprehensive POV because you've studied in these different locations, but you're also a son of the land in Africa. And that is unique because there's a bias, for example, for engineers in Silicon Valley. They may be coding for Caucasians. Like you've mentioned, China, they are a homogeneous nation almost. So 1 billion people being coded for one person, and by kind of a smaller group. And then you have Africa where you are a native and we have very many tribes. So that generally brings me to my next concern, because when you hear that, you get to notice that we have a sort of AI race. There was the nuclear race before. And now we're in a state where the US is going fast, EU is going slowly but cautiously, China is going in a more state-mandated approach, and now Africa is looking at inclusion. Now, where does that, in terms of like us as Ugandans, where does it position us? How, or is there even any governance legislation for Ugandans regarding AI?
Well, thank you for that question. So in Uganda right now, we do not have an overarching AI legislation.
Interesting.
We don't have a policy yet. We don't have regulations yet.
Interesting.
And what we have are the different pieces of legislation. We have our constitution, which provides for rights. Those rights also cover any kind of technology advancement. We have the copyright law, which would govern, which sometimes, if you want to refer, might guide you on how you're going to run copyright aspects of AI. We have the data privacy and protection laws. As you know, AI cannot operate without data. So you will have to look into what the Data Privacy and Protection Act provides, and so many others. Security concerns. We have the cyber security laws, and others, depending on what exactly you want to look at when it comes to AI. So, but the problem is not that there is no AI legislation. I think the problem would be not having these kinds of conversations. But I can also say and add that not having a specific piece of legislation, what it actually creates is that if you are a developer, if you are a distributor, if you are someone who is going to deploy AI, you won't be able to get context or guidance in terms of how you're going to develop this artificial intelligence. How are you going to distribute artificial intelligence? What are your rights? You don't know how you're going to be guided when it comes to transparency issues. when it comes to accountability issues, and when it comes to safety.
Yeah.
So all those questions remain unanswered without a specific piece of legislation, and that's a gap in itself.
Yeah. Because we use it every day. I mean, I think I used AI today more than I used my texting apps.
Sure.
I use AI for sometimes even responding to people. But if I don't know and
But
I'm
you
moving
run a risk.
blind,
You do not know, first of all, what kinds of risks you are running.
Indeed.
Are you running risks? Like, for example, the EU AI Act categorizes for whatever AI tool that you're using. I think it's important you understand the risk
Gotcha.
that you're posing. Is it high? Is it moderate?
Yeah.
Is there no risk at all?
Yeah. And that's very interesting. So the fact that we are just in a compendium of laws, it's not one specific legislation that there is to protect us. Should that, like you said, it presents a gap and we should be worried, or does that make you sleep well at night, you as Patrick, as a person who's into governance?
I think we should not go into panic mode. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't pay attention.
Understood.
Not having a legislation, like I said, is not the key thing. What is key is that you do not have conversations on these matters. You don't have policy dialogue on these matters.
Yes.
And you don't have these conversations like me and you are having, and that's the major risk.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and also we shouldn't worry. Again, Uganda is not the only country that is facing this.
Understood.
I mean, without running without an overarching piece of legislation, a specific law on AI, we're not the only ones. As a matter of fact, even the US doesn't have a specific piece of legislation. But how are they doing it? I think we actually stand an advantage.
Yeah.
By learning from the mistakes of others.
There's an opportunity
which could now help us to come up with legislation and policies, learning from other jurisdictions, also adopting what we think is right for us.
Yes.
And considering aspects like how this AI is going to help us in our needs, in our context,
in our specific niche,
without adapting wholesale how these tools will just be brought for adoption. We need to realize that if we are bringing in any artificial intelligence tools or any science like that, it has to be really meaningful and purposeful for us.
So with that, there's a silver lining. We can create from scratch. We do not have to just adapt. We can actually now pass legislation by learning from mistakes and make something that is customized for us.
Sure.
I'll sleep better at night now. You had talked about off camera, me and you, and having our conversations late into the night. You told me that Norway doesn't have legislation on AI and they are moving well. Let's let's talk about it that way in terms of how we talk about it when we're off camera. Countries like Norway, countries like Rwanda that are passing legislation, and these conversations that we're having, getting out of silos and not talking to just ourselves. How would a country proceed? What would be the think tanks of sorts? Who would you bring into the room? You as Patrick, the author of Age of Algorithms, by the way, an amazing comprehensive course book. What would be the step one to start passing such laws, or like passing a comprehensive law?
I think the first thing I can suggest when it comes to now framing either frameworks or policy or an AI legislation, I think consultation and literacy, because you can't govern what you don't understand.
True.
People need to learn or be made to understand what artificial intelligence actually is.
Yeah.
And I have come to realize that people are using AI on a daily, actually more than they make phone calls.
Yeah.
But they don't understand the dangers that they are facing in terms of exposure of their data, and all sorts of things.
Their rights to their images. Like, I know people who individually give AI chatbots their picture to, I don't know, make it an anime looking image. And they've actually inadvertently given these AI companies rights to their images.
Yeah. So yeah, what that means is that that AI tool is going to train on your data. And it's going to go out there. You do not know where it's going to end up. And so you don't want to become part of the training data in the whole world. You don't know where your information is going to end up. So it's important.
True.
Also, as you mentioned that, for people to choose the right tools of artificial intelligence. If you're using a chat, and so you need to understand if it's safe enough, if it's not going to train on your data.
Yeah.
Okay. And many other things that you can actually understand. And I would actually call upon viewers and listeners to just buy the book. All those questions, all those worries, risks, frameworks, and all those things are written about in the book.
Interesting that you should, at this point in the podcast, bring up the book, which will be available to people when?
The book is coming up as an e-copy on 4th of July.
Yes.
This year.
Why 4th of July? Let's just have like a bit of... Is there a specific reason why 4th of July is the date?
I like the 4th of July, really, for historical reasons, but also personal reasons. I just chose the 4th of July.
Okay, it's not coincidental in any way. It's just personal, and we won't get into that. People have to know you.
People find out.
People have to go to your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And we'll leave all the links.
We'll find out. I actually have a lot of respect for the 4th of July.
Okay.
That's what I can say.
Okay. I like that. And people can find out more about that when they buy the book, which I believe will have a soft copy available on Amazon.
Soft copy first, and then the hard copies will come up I think a month later. That will be like 6th
Got you.
of August.
Got you.
Will be ready. So you can get a copy of the book itself from Amazon or your nearest library.
And I guess I'd be remiss not to say that, I've been talking to you about the book. I have kind of like insider knowledge about it. Maybe for the viewers and the listeners, it's a very comprehensive guide, as you can see. It's over 13 chapters, and like these are all from different institutions you have attended. I'll let you have a humble brag later on, but 500 pages, 13 chapters, and all of this came up from your research, your intelligence.
it actually took me 2 years to write that book.
Got you.
And so I've been reading and doing a lot of research.
Yeah.
And coming up with these principles, with these frameworks, and you'll find out from the book.
Okay, people, you've had 4th of July on Amazon. I think there will also be the core edition on the website, because that will be the starter edition. It will be much smaller and abridged.
Yeah, you can find out more information also from the website.
Yeah, the website, for those of you who are curious, is law-tech.io, www.law-tech.io.
Sure.
And it's one of your very many subsidiaries, and Orbis, Cognitia, Automata. Am I saying that right?
Just OCA.
OCA, yes.
OCA, yeah. OCA.
Okay. Yeah. So for those who want to know more, check out his LinkedIn, and also check out Mazu, who will put all his information available. And I guess for my last question, Patrick, as we close off and we let the viewers and the listeners get to understand more about the book, from all what we've discussed, the AI race, the different regimes, Europe is very cautious. China is very inclusive for state reasons. America is speed, scale, let's grow. What should we be learning as a people about this global trend?
I think what is happening around the world, like you said, is sure there's an AI race going on right now. And this AI race is led by the US and China. But they are not the only players.
Indeed.
There are Europeans, and the difference between the US and China versus Europe is caution. And so Europeans are trying to pull back and trying to be more careful with the speed at which the US and China are taking with artificial intelligence.
Yes.
So with China and the US, you have speed and innovation. Speed and innovation, but not necessarily with public interest or safety.
Yes.
Which is what Europe is concerned more about.
Yeah.
They are more concerned about safety and public interest.
Yeah. In fact, recently
But there are advantages and disadvantages for both of those approaches.
Yes.
And I'll explain this more in my theory, or in one of the frameworks I developed on AI governance geometry. The AI governance geometry actually explains a lot to do with how these different approaches have been adopted.
Yeah.
But they have so many conflicting issues, advantages and disadvantages. But the main thing about all these approaches is for you to try to find a balance. You need to find a balance, what I call the equilibrium, which serves you safety, innovation, and public interest at the same time.
Got you. And I guess we'll get more into this on the next edition of this podcast. Viewers need to tune in to make sure like they can catch a deep breakdown into the frameworks. I just happened to read about them, and we have the discussion about them, but that will all be available on the next episodes. People need to watch, but more importantly, buy the book, because then what you're getting here is snippets. Here you're getting breadcrumbs, but when you get the book on Amazon, 4th of July, you will get to understand in a comprehensive effect. And then the core edition will be available on 6th August. stand corrected. So I think as a parting shot, maybe could you just tell the people where they can find you online and how they can reach you?
So I have a LinkedIn address. I also have a website, and the rest of the information is on the screen.
Yeah, we'll definitely put it in the links for people to reach you. Sure. Yeah, man, this has been a very fast flowing, I would say close to 30 minutes of just going back and forth in terms of understanding what AI governance means. And I can't wait to read the book myself once it's ready and available. Yeah, thank you for having us here. And
thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian, for this episode.
Indeed. Maybe just as a particular, people need to understand that we work together as a digital marketing agency, and you're the head of legal for that agency. So we're very glad to have you as Mazu, and guys should actually check you out in case they ever want to try.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'll be glad.
Okay. Our viewers and listeners, tune in for the next episode of The Age of Algorithms. This is the first time, and I believe you'll be able to get, this is your well in the desert for all things AI literacy. We look to, of course, see how we will span this and expand it to corporations, government institutions, educational institutions, and the general public. Thank you, Patrick. It's been a pleasure talking to you about everything AI governance.
Welcome.
And I hope our audience, viewers, listeners can subscribe to get more episodes like this. We will have more information for them in the more episodes to come.
There's a lot more coming.
And if they want to buy the book, they can go and find it on Amazon and our website. Catch you on the next one. It's been Brian and Patrick for The Age of Algorithms.